everyone, welcome to Grainchat. Today we look at the modern way of grain drying. We are Joe Sonpak and Hoàng Uyên from Sonpak Concern.
We introduce the drying expert from SuperBrix, Juan Gaviria. As the topic is quite rich, we will split the video into 2 consecutive videos.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yes, we often face the questions, which is the best way to dry grains? Let us take paddy rice. Flatbed box dryer are still commonly used in the countryside. Juan, please explain the difference to the modern tower dryers.
A modern process with tower dryers allows for a much more accurate process. Good tower dryers guarantee a constant mass flow to make sure each grain is exposed to the same drying condition and the drying time. This is important to reduce subsequent storage losses, discolored grains, rice breakage at the shelling stage, and to achieve a homogeneous product.
How does a modern tower dryer work in detail?
There are basically 2 gentle and efficient ways of drying with towers. Recirculating the grain on the tower until the grain is ready and processing it with intermediate tempering times. The batch system is recommended for installation with low rice quantity, processes where there are many grain varieties which cannot mix, or where the grain entering the installation has big moisture differences between lots, like about 2%, and has to be dried separately by moisture ranges. The continuous process is recommended when a big quantity of grain of the same variety and relatively the same initial moisture content is to be dried. It is run into 3 or 4 passes interrupted by resting times called tempering.
Which are the main points to consider for drying?
Well, drying volume and its characteristics. The air must be conditioned in order to increase its drying capacity and grain temperature, which must not exceed 5 to 7 degrees Celsius above ambient temperature to avoid broken grains. The air temperature and the descending speed of the product in the tower are well controlled. The first in, first out grain descending speed determines the drying time.
So why is the descending speed so important?
High air and gentle temperature and short exposure time with intermittent tempering is especially important for paddy. If the rice dries too fast, it develops stress cracks, causing broken rice in the subsequent milling rice process.
Yeah, you have mentioned tempering. So what is tempering and why is it important?
Well, during the drying process, the grain surface is exposed to big warm airflow, losing moisture. After that, the grain rests for some time, around 2 hours. In this time, the grain is not exposed to airflow or temperature, so its moisture migrates from the interior of the grain to the surface, making it easy to dry in the next warm air exposure time. This process saves a huge amount of energy and treats the grain as gentle as possible, avoiding any quality loss.
I know that in many areas, several different varieties of paddy rice deliver. So this requires a high flexibility to optimize the process for each variety. Can this be achieved with tower dryers?
Yeah, this can be achieved with a batch drying system. But nowadays, a new hybrid process has been developed, combining batch and tempering drying methods for medium-large drying processes. The process is usually also done in 3 to 4 passes to achieve a slow and careful drying. However, it can be done with less equipment and less investment.
Thank you very much for your time, Juan, and sharing your know-how on grain drying with us.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for the Grainchat.
Thank you very much, Juan. Also from my side, it was a very instructive and good overview on modern drying for various grains. In the second video, we will elaborate in more detail on decisive factors in drying and also on the economy.
Dear audience, please feel free to contact us if you would like to address another topic of interest or send us your comment about today's chat. Thank you.